Welcome everyone to episode 2 of the
Unoriginal
Unoriginal Podcast. Your hosts, Muhammad.
And Adam
So we want to thank everyone
for tuning in
for our first episode. Feedback was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, everyone said we had good chemistry, everyone said the topic was interesting.
Some feedback was you need to dress less homeless. And
yeah, because we wanted to show everyone the outcome of trying to get a job in tech. So I think some people missed it, some people didn't. It's okay, it's fine, okay. It works. We had some feedback about equipment, so it's in the works.
We're trying.
Just wait.
60% of you guys aren't subscribed, so please subscribe.
What's going on with that?
And let's just get started.
Yeah, so episode 2. We want to talk about piracy for today.
Like Red Sea.
Not Jack Sparrow, stealing ships. I'm talking about content piracy.
Okay.
So why I brought this up was I was playing a game, Final Fantasy 17, and I really loved that game.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started doing research on it, I noticed that a lot of Japanese games and a lot of games that are made overseas, they don't make it here.
Okay.
And that's because of region laws. And then I would remember, back in the day, on the PS2, games that were made in the US would not make it to Saudi Arabia. So we would have to get the ones in a Ziploc bag.
Okay,
for like
the torrents.
The torrents, yeah, that only last like a month before they break, and then that's how we played games back then. So
they kill your entire computer too.
They could do like 100 viruses, but you played the game. So
this is actually reminding me of like the early 2000s, our home PC. We had this game, I don't know how it ended up there. It's called Captain Claw, and it's from, I think, the 90s. When I looked it up, it was from 98, 97. And I loved that game, but there's no legal way to acquire that game anymore.
Yeah.
It was only released on, I think it was on CD, and you can't find it anymore. It just doesn't exist.
yeah.
I remember when I was in high school, I found this torrent of it, and I downloaded it, and I played it for a while, and then that computer died, and it had a bunch of files, with the Russian letters or the Thai letters, so that was a dumb move on my part. But it's true that sometimes there are no legitimate means to get a game or
a movie,
other media,
or music. Yeah, so this is why I wanted to discuss whether it counts as theft, and is it okay morally, ethically to pirate media software. I think you can look at it both ways. So let's say there's an indie developer or indie singer or someone doing it on their own. I think if you're able to purchase, or there's a availability for you to purchase their content, you should purchase their content.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Support small businesses.
Yeah.
However, a lot of companies like Activision, for example, they delist all their games. So there's, as you mentioned before, there's no way for you to be able to buy those games unless you're buying it from someone on Facebook Marketplace, for example, where they sell a game for like $300. So I think if you want to play an old Zelda game, there's no reason for you to be spending that much money.
Yeah.
Another thing with piracy is the emulation and preserving content, because as we see from Netflix or any streaming service, it's not a real way to preserve anything, because it can just go away. You know what I mean? So that's why I think, in those regards, it's okay.
It's okay to pirate.
It's definitely okay to pirate. Especially now that you don't own what you purchase. Like if you're purchasing a game, for example, on Steam, it will give you a warning saying you are not purchasing ownership of the game.
Now.
It is a subscription. You're paying for permission to play.
Yeah.
So if buying is not owning, is torrenting theft? That is my question. So what is your take on that?
I feel like we can debate the morality of purchasing and it not being owning. But if we put that aside, then theft is theft.
Theft is theft. That is true. But a way people look at it is, it's not the same as physical, because the only thing the content creator is missing out on is how much money they could have made, but they're not actually losing. So for example, if you go into Walmart and take a juice box or anything they have, you're taking something from their inventory that they paid for. But when you make a software or a song, there's no limited number of how much you have. So you're only taking away a potential sale. But were you gonna make that purchase regardless? That's what some people say, that's what everyone's on the fence about.
So
That's
just
why
perspective.
you can't if you get caught downloading a song, you're not gonna get arrested for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no law that says, oh, you can't pirate. Like there's copyright laws where you can't reproduce. Like you can't take a game file and just publish it for you on for yourself on Steam and say, hey, this is my game. But other than that, that's why it's on the fence. That's why I say if you can purchase, sure, but if you can't, like a lot of things, or you're preserving, then yeah, go for it. And then another thing is how it shaped our industry. So earlier we talked about how we got access to content that we wouldn't have gotten access to. Another thing with piracy is not just the pricing and money wise, but it's also the convenience. Not everyone's gonna go purchase a new label every single time. That's why things like Spotify, after all the lawsuits that happened in the early 2000s, they decided to go ahead and make a streaming service. So everything's on your fingertips. Everything can be accessed to right away for a pretty fair price. Like if you use the student discount, even if you're not a student, you can just use someone's transcript or someone's schedule.
Okay.
And pay that $6 a month, and you have access to all this music. It's very convenient.
Yeah.
There's no reason to use MP3 juices or Penit. If you know Penit, when you download a song and at the end it's just like Penit, Mocha Penit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyone who grew up in the Middle East would know that.
Even before that, two points. I think industries, whether it's movies or shows or music or games, they've sort of adapted to piracy. They know it's a thing that happens. They account for it. But other than that, the point on convenience, even websites like MP3 Juices or Penna, that's somewhat recent. If you go back to the early 2000s,
LimeWire.
not many people used the internet much.
Yeah.
You'd go to this guy in your neighborhood. He had all the bootleg. He had movies before Hollywood released them. He had everything somehow.
Funny story, actually. 2012. If you're into comic books, the Avengers movie was coming out, and everyone was hyped for it. Even my dad took me and my brother to watch it on the first night. Everyone was going crazy over it. A couple days before it dropped, I got family and friends back home. They spoiled some of the movie, and I was like, "How do you know? There's not even theaters in Saudi Arabia to watch the movie." And he's like, "Bro, I bought it from some guy in front of the mall.
Yeah.
For 12 Saudi riyal. How much is that converted? I don't know. It's a couple
$4, yeah.
$4, yeah. So I was like, that's crazy, there's. It's poor quality, but it's there. What I mean? Because there's pre-screening, so people go and record. And even back then, you can imagine their phone quality wasn't even that great. So they record it and they send it over, and then they start burning it on discs and just sell it everywhere.
Yeah.
And it would be as I said before, Ziploc bags, which is very funny.
Or then you'd be watching it, and then suddenly it's the guy's home videos meshed in with it, and then it's back to the movie.
Yeah. It would do that, and then it would have his name, across the screen, and then sometimes there's someone walking by the theater. You see a shadow in the middle of the movie just walking by.
It would have his name bigger than the director's name.
Yeah. It would block it too. For example, we use IPTV,
Mm-hmm.
so it has all basically Netflix for free.
It's more than Netflix. It has everything.
It has everything. Every channel, every movie, every TV show, every anime, whatever you want to watch, it's on there.
Yeah. For the life of me, I don't know how it works. I don't know how it's universal, how it works everywhere.
It just works everywhere. That's all I know. Literally, not even just English and Arabic, but you can find Mexican news channels on there. And
Vietnamese, you can find everything.
Everything is on there. So they would have their source when you open something. So for example, I would put on Modern Family and it would just say shahid4you.com across the page until the show actually starts and it goes to the top of the screen. So just like,
or it would say EG Best Popcorn Time.
Egypt Best that's everywhere. It would be on like some 1980s horror film and it would just say Egypt Best on the top, like they had anything in production for that movie. But yeah, it just makes it all too convenient. So yeah, so going back to convenience, about it, like how we were talking about, Spotify exists because of piracy, Netflix exists because of piracy, Steam exists because of piracy, because when they made Half-Life, the first Half-Life game, it was widely received as a very good game, but except everyone was pirating that game. You would go to everyone would buy one disc and they would make multiple copies and they would start selling these copies. So to make it more available for everyone to purchase, Valve decided to make Steam, which would host their games on there for you to just buy and download off your own home.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And then over time people were like, okay, I'd rather just get a legitimate copy.
It's safe, it's convenient.
It's safe, yes, that's another thing.
It became more convenient than pirating.
It has, because with pirating, specifically games, it's not as simple as just downloading the game. Like you have to download the game, then you have to get some torrent. Like
you have to get the dependencies.
You have to get dependencies. You have to wait for it to seed, and it would take so long to download.
And they're risky files. They're exe files. They're stuff that can really mess up your computer.
Yeah, especially now we're in a time that everything's online and data is the most important thing you can have. You don't want just anyone getting access to it. So, and not even just that, you can't access any online features. So most games today have multiplayer options. Even if you pirate the game, you can't have access to that. You have to be connected to their server, and to do that, you have to pay for the game.
Yeah.
So that's why digitalizing content solved a lot of the issues of piracy, the good stuff, and it stemmed from piracy. Yes, piracy is a taboo subject, but it brought solutions to these like inconvenience problems, and everyone started going off of it too.
Even pay-per-view isn't much of a thing anymore. It still exists, but ad-supported content is a lot more popular now.
Yeah.
To bypass the whole need to protect the content to begin with.
Yeah.
So, what piracy defined your childhood?
What I pirated? A lot. So games like Spider-Man on the computer, Call of Duty, any game. Movies, I would go to Popcorn Time. If you remember Popcorn Time,
yeah.
That was the OG. Everyone knows Popcorn Time before it got shut down. Music. Growing up, I was 7 years old. I was not gonna go to a store, buy a Shireen album. I would just download it off of Pinnit.
Yeah.
The whole song would be there. Just at the end, they have their
tag.
موقع Pinnit. It would like fade. It became part of the song, you know. So whenever I heard the actual song on TV, and it doesn't end with that, I was like, "What is this real? Like, what is it? What's going on here?" You know. So I got access to a lot of things because of piracy. A lot of like content that I would have never viewed if I never pirated. My taste and everything would have been different. So genre of games, music, movies, everything would be different. What about you? What have you pirated, or what have you?
I remember
gone into?
Like during the summers in Lebanon, at my grandparents' place, they would have like Disney Channel.
Yeah.
The cable Disney Channel, and they didn't get it from Disney. Like there would be this one guy in the neighborhood, and he would get the like cable membership,
Yeah.
and then he'd sell it to everyone else for a discounted price.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that kind of piracy because they had a bunch of nice shows. I think there was also Nickelodeon, not sure though. But other than that, like torrents and whatnot, I'm not really into games. I did pirate a lot of shows. Friends, Zoe 101, that was fun. Uh, Victorious.
Yeah, that's. Everyone got. I feel like everyone got into piracy. Like there's. I don't think anyone.
It was the
gone
standard.
through- it is a standard because who had money as a child to pay for all these things, and or convinced your parents to purchase all these things.
Yeah.
Like my dad would come. Like imagine your dad's coming home from work. He's tired. He wants to sleep, and then, well, what can I have this game?
And then there's also like
Zoe.
a distrust of the back then of the internet of having your card on some website or
Yeah.
purchasing anything online.
Yeah, yeah.
And as a kid you don't have your own card,
No.
so
What can I do?
it's all you can do.
What can you do? Yeah. But yeah, like speaking of childhood, what would you say like was a highlight of your childhood or growing up? What was it like? What would you always like to do? Things you got into, stuff like
I
that.
mean, we can start at the very beginning in kindergarten. We had a class where they gave us like papers with shapes on them or drawings, and we'd have to cut and trace the drawing. So it was a class with 26-year-olds with scissors. But that was the worst grade I had in kindergarten. I never was able to cut along the lines. And another thing from kindergarten that I felt was a failure of mine was like towards the end of the day when they just wanted to keep us busy, they'd give us again these like papers with printed drawings. They'd give us colors to fill them in, and I could never fill them in before the day ends because you'd have to fill in so much. I could never fill in enough. My hand couldn't move fast enough. Okay, so
Yeah, bro, your kindergarten experience was low-key better than mine.
what happened
Mine was
here?
just crazy, bro. Here's the thing. So when I was in kindergarten, we had this teacher who was just, I don't know what she had going on at home, but she took it out on the class.
Oh,
Like this teacher would have a ruler. You make any noise, she hits you with it. This was Saudi Arabia, by the way. This is like it was allowed to hit a student.
it was expected.
It was expected, you know what I mean? And when I say hit, I'm not talking about like little tap. No, I'm talking about like actual hit, bro. Like we were prisoners, you know what I mean? It was bad. So this lady, she would always give us a hard time, but of course we would give her a hard time back. So whenever she comes in and she's like, "Oh guys, look, I got this new dress." She would have a coffee. We would like spill it or something. Like, oops, my bad, you know. We would draw everywhere on the walls just to piss her off. We would do just anything to piss her off.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean. So it was going back and forth. I guess that was the only fun part. We didn't do any of these like activities where you're just cutting or drawing.
That was a graded activity. That was not for fun.
That was a great activity.
I think I got a D on that.
The beginning of your downfall, academic downfall. No, she would always prepare us for war. I'm not even joking. Like you have to. We would always be outside, like going around pine cones, jumping through hoops, doing some random stuff.
That sounds more fun though.
It was more fun, but then she would like make it unfun. Like you know, and she would take the fun away from it. Like it was. She took it way too seriously.
Speaking on taking it way too seriously, I had this Arabic teacher. Some of you watching who, like, friends from school, Miss Bahia. She was Satan.
Damn.
She would get she took it way too seriously. She treated us like she was a drill sergeant and we were soldiers. She was so mean. I swear. In grade one, okay, mind you, we're all 6 years old. If yeah, she was an Arabic teacher, if you didn't do your homework, she would have you sit outside the class on the floor and do the homework while the class is running. You're
Damn.
6 years old. You can't even clean your own ass at that point, and she wants you to do that.
I mean, I had a teacher like this, but here actually, Rick Hansen. So, let's say it's recess
Shout out
time.
to Cancer.
Shout out Rick Hansen, yeah. I hated that school so much, but yeah, going forward, if like recess, we're outside. If you do any, like if you misbehave, if you do anything, push another student, anything, like anything they don't like, they would make you stand while everyone else is playing at the wall, like your back towards the wall, and you just have to look at everyone else playing. That was her punishment, and
That's so sadistic.
that is sort of sadistic. And here's the thing: we would be playing in the hot sun. She would make us do that, and then when she made me do that, she yelled at me because I stood. She told me to stand at the wall. I did that, but under shade, because they had the like this Rick Hansen sign that says like Rick Hansen welcome Rick Hansen Hawks.
Okay.
It would give shade to the wall, so I stood there. She yelled at me. She's like, "Who said you can stand under the shade?" And she made me go stand.
Melanoma was part of the punishment.
Yeah, she made me stand under the sun for an extended number of minutes too. Like usually she does it for you have to stand there for 10 minutes. She made me do it for the whole entire recess.
It's insane.
It is insane.
One of the punishments I hated the most was making us write. Like some teachers would make us write this one sentence over and over like 100 times, and then what I would do was I would number them, and then I would just skip random numbers. So I'd go like 1, 2, 3, 6, and then because no way they're gonna sit down and count them.
Yeah.
And I did that a bunch, and then so one teacher.
I thought that was just in the movies. I didn't know they actually.
No, they actually did that. They actually did that.
That's crazy.
Biggest waste of time. So one teacher, I will be nice to Ahmed until the end of the semester. So one teacher.
Shout out Ahmed.
Shout out Ahmed, made me write something 100 times, and I did the number skipping thing, and then I just wrote it 99 times, and then I handed it in, and he called my mom. He said Adam didn't do the whole thing. He did just 99 instead of 100.
Weirdo.
He
Like
didn't
has
even-
that much free time.
Yeah, he even noticed that I skipped no less than like 12 sentences within, but I think that experience kind of shaped, like that made me realize maybe grown-ups aren't that smart. But I did other weird stuff as a kid. I remember, like, you know what a troll is? You all know what a troll
Yeah.
is. I didn't, when I was like 6, I didn't know what trolling is, but I was doing it.
Yeah.
Like I remember this one time we were playing Duck Duck Goose, and I just
Going
kept
around duck.
duck. I just never said goose, and
Yeah.
then you see some of the kids, they get super angry. Some of them would just start crying. It was the most-
No, I would do it too, but I would like stop, get duck, like give them anticipation.
Yeah.
They all get mad.
I remember this one time. It was like after school, but before going home, and we were playing hide and seek. And the other kids wanted me to seek, and I didn't want to seek. And I thought it was BS, but they were like, Adam, you have to seek.
Yeah.
It's just like mob mentality. And so I said, okay, you guys go hide. And then I just went home. I didn't seek.
Bro, we would be playing like Manhunt, and then one of the kids would go home. Like Manhunt is everyone's running. It's not like hide and go seek. So one person gets chosen, and they have to count 30 seconds while everyone runs away.
Okay.
And he has to go around collect every single person. So when he touches someone, they're part of the manhunt. Now they have to chase everyone down until like there's no one left. So some kids would just go home for lunch as soon as they start running. He would run home. that was funny. Actually, I remember this one time we were playing soccer, and see, here's the thing with Rick Hansen, it's not fenced, so it's an open field,
Mm-hmm.
but they tell us don't go beyond that tree.
Okay.
Okay, we use that tree as a goalpost, so we would play there, and then it was mostly fine. No one said anything. No teacher stopped us. They would even start standing there just in case like one of us runs away. But we were just playing soccer. We were having fun. And then one time, someone kicked the ball too hard. So me and my two other friends, we went beside the fence and we knocked on the door like, "Yo, can we have our ball back?" and everything. And one of the teachers that was supervising us agreed to it. Like, "Yeah, fine, you can go. I'll just be waiting here." We got our ball back, and everything was fine. Then comes parent-teacher interview. He sits down. My dad's like, "Hi, how are you? How's everything? How's Muhammad?" And then he's like, "Muhammad, what can I tell you about Muhammad? I caught him the other day trying to escape school." I looked at him and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then he's like, "Yeah, when he was grabbing, he said he wanted to grab the soccer ball, but I caught him trying to go to school. And then I went there and I stopped him. He made a whole story. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what? This never happened." He just started boosting out of nowhere. And here's the thing with Arab parents. He can say anything and they'll believe him.
Yeah.
Like, parents will never take your side when it comes to school. So my dad believed everything. He's like, "Why are you trying to escape school and everything?" And he got mad. He's like, "You can't play soccer anymore, all this, all that." Like, for no reason. He just had it against me. Not even me. He has it against everyone. That teacher was weird.
Fortunately for me, my mom worked at the school I studied.
Oh, yeah,
in.
lucky, really.
No, not like that. But about siding, they never side with you. She knew how incompetent some of the people were,
Yeah.
and so she would side with me sometimes. I remember sometimes she wouldn't side with me, but it was okay. So I'm just gonna say the story. It was in grade 6, so I was older than I should have been. Then I would have been given grace for doing what I did because it was disrespectful, but it was also kind of funny.
What did you do?
We had this teacher who taught us social studies, and his dad taught us French, and then we had French class, but the teacher didn't come in, and so this other teacher came in because we were like making a lot of noise, and then I just asked him when Baba. And
What
then
the hell?
as soon as I said that, the whole like before saying it, the whole class went silent, and then he just looked like, "Who said that? Who said that?"
That's a joke.
And then my op, everyone had ops in class. My op ratted me out.
There's always an op.
There's always an op, and
If you grow up in Canada, most likely your op's name is Emily. Like, everyone has an enemy. Emily who's an op.
I can't remember who my op was, but I think his name was Ahmed. There were like 20 Ahmeds, all Egyptian.
No, bro. Thing is with side as well. I feel like parents, their son, they would take the teacher's side, but daughter would be complete opposite. You know what I mean? Like, we would go through a high school and there was a teacher, Mr. Bunch. If you went to Westminster, you know Mr. Bunch. You know the kind of man Mr. Bunch was. So anything he would say to my dad would believe him. He would say, "I'm the worst student ever." My dad believes him. But then when he's trying to do the same thing with my sister, he's like, "No, هذا مخرف. This guy's lost. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about." You know what I mean? And funny enough, here's the thing. So me and my boy Amr, we would be sitting beside each other, and every now and then I'll hit him, he would hit me, as a joke, and that's it. Okay. On the parent-teacher interview, he would say, "Oh, Muhammad's friend Amr, this guy is trying to bring him down. He doesn't want him to be successful. He doesn't want him to go anywhere in life. He wants him to stay where he is." You know what I mean? Like, he would make Amr as if he's like Satan. And then when I told my friend what he said about him, he's like, "Bro, wallah, when my dad came in, he said, Muhammad is trying to bring down Amr." He's trying to bring him where he is. The same thing, he just switched from scenarios. Okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he would, And then the thing is, my dad's like, why are you hanging out with Imran? And then his dad's like, why are you hanging out with Muhammad? What's going on here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he just like creates a divide, and then they would take, like, obviously both parents took the teacher's side. And then my dad even asked him, like, move him away. Like, make him sit by himself. So I had to sit by myself for the whole semester. Oh, I got the same grades that I got the entire semester, except he's like, yeah, Muhammad's doing so much better now. It was his friend distracting him over shit. Like, he just started making all this BS, man.
The thing is, with moving, that never worked for me. Because I'd just be disruptive with someone else.
No, I was too. As I said, bro, I'm telling you, I had the same exact results. The same marks that I got before and after were the exact same.
And
He would start making things. He was very sexist too. Like, I remember straight up, he was showing us a video of a bridge collapsing. And he's like, yeah, this is in recent news, they collapsed. And we were talking about, like, forces. So we thought it was a part of the lesson.
okay.
And he's like, let me tell you exactly why the bridge collapsed. So I was expecting him to say, oh, they didn't distribute the forces properly. They didn't use the proper support beams. They didn't do this, they didn't do that. You know, part of the lesson. Then he looked at us straight in the eye and he's like, it's because the engineers were women.
Oh my god.
So obviously, like, we laughed at it because it was funny at the time,
Yeah.
but it was he was being serious.
You're
I thought he was joking.
100% serious.
We thought he was joking. So after we realized he was joking, I went quiet, and then, like, the girls in the class obviously yelled at him. And he would have multiple cases of this. Like, I remember the top 3 highest marks were all, like, girls in the class. So he would tell my dad, he's like, the men today, the men of this generation, I don't like that my top 3 marks are for women. Like, this guy's, like, complaining about it, he's mad. And then my dad's like, yeah, you know, they're not like we used to be. I was like, okay, bro. You know what I mean?
I've had my fair share of teachers. My English teacher in grade 6, his name was actually Amir. That guy was actually my op. He hated me for some reason.
Every English teacher is an op. Like, every English teacher has been an op except for that one guy in summer school whose job wasn't even to be an English teacher. He just wanted to get more money. Well, he's a gym teacher.
Yeah.
Anyways, keep going. Yeah.
Mr. Amir, he would I spent most of his classes not in class because he would always, like,
Skip?
he'd find a reason to, like, kick me out of class. And I was one of the top students too, and he just hated me. He would always we had, like, these warning letters which didn't mean anything, but they were like I got so used to them. Other kids would, like, cry, oh, I have a warning letter. But I had, like, 20 from him. I could have made a binder of them. And they'd always be for some BS reason. Oh, he made fun of me. And that guy, he went through, like, a midlife crisis in the middle of... He got Lebanese guy with cornrows. And he dyed his hair once white. He went through a divorce. The whole thing.
English teacher.
Odd fellow.
Odd behavior. Or maybe just normal for an English teacher.
Maybe.
They're all weird.
Grade 6 was... A lot of stuff went down in grade 6. I remember... I think it was during math class. Sitting next to my friend... who I hope is watching this. I sent him the link. Ahmed Ghadban. And... I don't know why we were laughing. For some reason we were laughing.
Is he related to the Ghadbans in London, or is he
No,
back
he's
home?
Syrian Ghadban.
Oh,
He lives in Mississauga now, though.
okay.
And then we were laughing for some reason, and he made us sit apart. And then whenever we'd make eye contact, we would burst out laughing. And then he said, don't even look at him. Don't even look in his direction. And then that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, was not look. Because that's when he says that, that's all you want to do. You just want to look.
That's the thing. When you tell people not to do something, they'll do it.
Yeah, and then that made us laugh even more.
Yeah. Especially when they're saying a sad story that happened to them, and you look at your boy and he really just, like, face, and then you just can't. And then you get in trouble for laughing.
And then another Ahmed story. Same teacher, math teacher. There's this one homework assignment that for some reason no one in class did. I don't know why. That one specific homework no one did, and we came to school, and then we all copied it off of each other. I copied it off of someone. I don't know where he got it, But then when he would grade it in class, like he would check each person's like notebook, and he went student by student and was like, "You all have the same mistake. Like, oh,
What is this?
what is this?" And then he's like, "Just tell me where did you get it? Like, you won't get in trouble, but who did you copy this from?" I copied it from him. I copied it from him. And then
What was the source?
the source, I didn't know the source. I found out the source was actually Ahmed. Ahmed was the only guy who did the.
You're off?
No, Ahmed the friend.
Oh, okay.
I know, it's confusing. Too many Ahmeds.
Too many Ahmeds, yeah.
But
for sure.
Ahmed the friend was the only one who did the homework. We all copied off of him.
You didn't try to gaslight the teacher that his question was wrong?
No, though I did try that with. I tried that in uni once. It was Calc 3, and he was doing the partial derivatives,
Yeah.
and like to prove that the mixed derivatives are equal. This is nerd stuff. Most of you tuned out by this one. Either way, something that takes too long to check, and I said that is probably not, and then he said no, it is, I'm sure. And then it was a whole thing, and then he didn't check it because he didn't feel like checking it because it took too long.
Yeah, no, it was a business class, but not the one I enjoyed. If Mr. Farawi, if you're watching this, I enjoyed your class. But grade 9, I took a business class, and we were learning about Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, all that stuff. And she would give us an assignment. We had answer questions on it, and we all copied from the same source.
Okay.
Okay, and we all got the same exact mistake. So she said, "You're obviously cheated," and then we're like, "No, we're not. The question is wrong." Then she's like, "No, it's not." And here's the thing: we somehow convinced her that we answered it based on the new version of Microsoft Word,
Okay.
not the old the version she's used to back in the day. And she was like on the verge of retirement, like she retired that semester. And we somehow like got away with it. She's like, "Okay, yeah, makes sense." She just thought like I don't know. We just started going back and forth, and like 20 grade 9s. Okay, they're just going off on her, like saying, "No, you're wrong." And then she's
This
like,
actually
"Okay."
reminds me of something. I think it was grade 10. We had like this IT class, and it was also like using Microsoft Word,
Yeah.
Excel, that sort of stuff. And the exam was like a practical exam where you would like make this document, edit it, and then print it out.
Yeah.
And these two kids, I won't say their names even though I remember them, بس ما بدي أفضحهم.
Ahmed Ghadban.
It was not Ghadban. Ghadban was no longer lived in Saudi by that point.
Oh, okay.
But they planned on cheating, and so they printed out for each other the final assignment.
Yeah.
Like they just changed the name and they printed twice. Thing is, the teacher, he would have us put the file path in the footer. They did not change the path. And so the same name in the path twice, and then different names on the papers. It was one of the stupidest ways to get caught. I think when he did this big reveal in class, he's like, "You two guys, you both failed the exam. You cheated." And he went off on them. He was like, "This is the stupidest way I've seen students cheat in my 30 years of teaching."
Yeah, like if I was a teacher and I caught someone, if it was a stupid way, like you deserve to fail, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because you don't have the brain capacity to pass anyway. But if it was like some high level method,
I feel like
I would let it go.
Yeah, if I'm a teacher and I see that they actually put in effort, like that kid's smart. They're going places.
Yeah.
Even if they put in so much effort, I don't even catch it, and they pass, well deserved.
Yeah, sure. I feel like for real.
Yeah. Don't cheat. We don't condone cheating.
We don't condone what is it? Academic
dishonesty.
dishonesty.
Yeah.
Academic dishonesty.
Forget about that. Yeah.
You don't want to do that at all. Coming from people who study tech, we definitely did not use Stack Overflow. We definitely did not use GitHub.
Yeah.
For other projects, like we hosted our own projects, we definitely didn't take code from anywhere. It was 100%
Us,
like me. Like I sat there for 8 hours straight every day, working on every assignment.
looking up documentation.
Documentation, literally everything. Writing in assembly.
Yeah, like what was my jam? that book, the C programming language from
For
like, the
dummies?
70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. It's the only thing I used. And then you see
Everything
how
you need to
other
use.
languages are based on C, so I used it for all other languages.
Oh man, I miss school. Not gonna lie,
You miss school?
I miss school. Like end of high school, beginning of uni. That era, it's like you're still young, you're not worried or stressed about anything important, but you're also old enough to do things. You know, you can go out with your friends. Everyone had a part-time job, so they can afford to eat out.
For me, that
can
era
go-
was we're all sitting at home. It was COVID.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
But COVID ruined so much.
Yeah, though the first semester of grade 12 was nice. I remember I would always carpool with one of my friends. Guess what
Yeah.
his name was?
Ahmed Allah.
No, just Ahmed.
Ahmed?
Ahmed.
How many Ahmeds do you know?
I honestly, if I tally it up, dozens probably. But I just remember Ahmed, he had in his car, he had this like tiny chicken that he would just put on his dashboard. And it never fell over somehow. And Ahmed was not, he was not a smooth driver. But we like Ahmed.
No, Ahmed is there's no such thing as an Ahmed as a good driver, like smooth driver.
Yeah.
Like they just have to.
Let's be
Drive your
honest,
own
there's
way.
no such thing as a good Middle Eastern driver.
Yeah, like like if someone like follows every law when driving as an Arab, like, come on now.
You're not getting anywhere.
Bro, my driving instructor, Musa. Musa.
Fake name?
No, his name is Musa,
Okay.
and he did not follow the road rules when he would like pick me up. But then he would yell at me if I didn't follow the road rules. Like we would wait at the stop sign. Look at his wrist as if like he's counting the seconds. He's like, that was not exactly 3 seconds, and he would like yell at me for it. But then he would like not even wait,
Not even stop.
not even stop. He would just keep going. And then I was like, "That's a stop line." He's like, "No one's here."
Yeah.
One time he was telling me turn into this complex. I was like, "There's someone walking, so I have to wait." He's like, "They're slow. You could have made it." I was like, "Okay, bro."
I won't name drop my instructor because he confessed to crimes, but I will share the crimes.
That's creepy.
You know how
His name is
if
Ahmed
you
as well.
do if you do let's say his name is Ahmed.
Yeah, his name is Ahmed. Okay.
Ahmed Sandu,
Okay.
and you know how when you do the exam in like their car, you go to the drive test and then you
Yeah.
wait your turn there with them in the car, and I guess he was just bored and he just didn't know what to talk about, and we're sitting there and he just started talking about never work a salary job, always work contract jobs, always get paid in cash. You see, I cheat on my taxes, and I haven't paid. I've worked for 20 years. I have never paid tax. And then he's like, if you want to get married, you can do your religious ceremony, whatever you want, but don't get married on paper. And then let the government think that your wife is a single mother, and then you can use the benefits she gets to pay for the mortgage. And this man just kept on going. Like, he confessed to 20 different things.
The fact that he's randomly confessing it to like his students,
Yeah.
like it had to reach the IRS or whoever's in charge of taxes at some point.
I don't know though. Maybe, like, I don't want to get him in shit because he gave me a discount for paying cash.
Of course he did.
Those were good times. I passed that test with flying colors. The guy, the examiner guy, he looked like a Hell's Angel, but he was super nice.
Bro, getting your license has to be like top 3 experiences in a person's life.
Yeah,
When you first get your G2. Like G1, you go in, you write the test. Like it's not like, you know, it's exciting. Yo, I got my G1, but okay, whatever. When you get your full G, okay, you've been driving for a while, so you know it's like whatever. You know, you're just finishing it off so it doesn't expire. But your G2, bro, it feels like
New Horizons.
it feels like you were prisoned, and someone released you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was amazing. top 3 experiences has to be, not in order, but graduating university, getting my G2, and getting the PS3.
Okay. Let's talk about getting your license in Saudi.
You need a license in Saudi? I thought anyone can just drive. Not women though. Not back then.
Not back then. So there was in Jeddah, which was a city of 5 million people, I think, almost 6 million people.
Yeah, I think so.
There was one place you can get your license. It was a driving school. It was called Della. And you would go there, you'd wait in line for hours, legitimately hours, just to talk to someone. And then they take your ID, they take your printed pictures, they take like a blood test to know what your blood type is.
How old did you have to be to drive inside, like for a license? Is it 16?
It was 16.
Okay, and then just one license, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And then you would do the thing at the start, and it's like to determine your level.
Yeah.
And if you do well, you get, I think, 30 days of, not 30 days, 30 hours of training that you have to do.
Okay.
And if you do bad, you get like 50 hours, worse you get 60 hours, and so on.
Oh, like that, okay.
Yeah. And then once you do the preliminary test, if you don't do well, they tell you, like, they don't submit it. They're like, just do it again. We don't want to train you for that long. And then you'd go and you'd sit in this like auditorium, and there would be this Sudanese guy, and he would just have this slideshow that he would go through, and it would be like all the laws, and he'd just go through them. You get the whole thing done, I think, in 2 weeks, like 5 hours a week or so.
Yeah.
Some insane number, like multiple hours a day, just looking
At
slideshows. And then they show you like these videos. One of them was like, these two guys in a car, and then it's about reckless driving, and his boy tells him, "Oh, your car's a turtle, bro. It doesn't go fast." And then he was like in a Hyundai accent, and then he just steps on it and goes faster than the speed of sound, and the car like flips over and explodes. And then
Would it be like a movie edit from like?
I swear it was like Michael Bay directed it.
Yeah.
And then somehow they both survived the crash, and then it transitions into teaching you how to do CPR.
What the hell?
Like, if I can get my hands on that like clip somehow, I would pay one of my kidneys just to get that clip. It's so amazing. And then upload it, and that it would get billions of views, tons of money.
I wonder if it's still like that though, because now you just book everything online for the.
Yeah, it changed a bunch since I moved. I don't know. I don't know how the whole country is like. I haven't been in over 2 years. I haven't lived there in like 5 years, 6 years at this point. So it's been a while.
But 14 years, bro. Like, last time was 2010.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a whole new place.
It's a different place.
Yeah. I do miss El Bake though.
I do miss El Bake too.
Which, like, for 14 years to still remember a certain food is crazy.
Yeah, I heard it fell off though. I feel like if you visit though and you try it, the nostalgia, it will always be good.
Yeah.
No matter how much it actually fell off. So the juiciest fried chicken ever.
It fell off, I think, because of, or I don't know if it fell off or it's just more and more fireplaces opened.
Oh, I've heard rumors that they this is gonna be so interesting to some people and so uninteresting to others, but I heard rumors they changed the garlic sauce.
Oh, that was what made it special.
Yeah, they messed with the most
sauce.
important. They messed with the sauce.
You can't
it's
mess
the
with
most
the
important
sauce.
thing.
Like, you can't mess with the sauce.
Like, if you've seen Rick and Morty, Rick fangirls over the Szechuan sauce. Nothing compared to El Bake garlic sauce. That was something else that had meth in it. That was, bro. Al-Bake was actually Los Pollos Hermanos from Breaking Bad.
Bro, I bet you the whole Krabby Patty formula segment in SpongeBob came from a big formula.
Yeah,
Because so many people tried to grab that formula,
yeah.
but no one had access to it. I think it just had like crack in it or something, or
And
meth.
It's I think it's like it's a huge company at this point, but it's still family owned, and the family are the only people with the recipe for the sauce.
Yeah.
They've never shared that. So the Colonel's got nothing on them. 12 herbs and spices.
Maybe that's my way to get rich. I'll just marry a girl from their
The
family.
the Bake Dynasty.
And Big Dynasty. And then I get the recipe, open my own chicken restaurant.
Or maybe if they franchise, you can become a franchisee here,
Yeah.
and then charge like 4 times the price.
Yeah, because right now, we like the only place we have right now is like Church's Chicken. That's like good.
Yeah. Even though like the
Like Popeyes was good, but it's boycott. Like you have to boycott.
yeah. Also, it's insane segue, but like the chicken here is like, you know how people complain about GMOs or genetically modified organisms,
Yeah.
and it seems like it's just like hippies complaining, but I've noticed it like in Canada. Why are the chickens the size of dinosaurs? Like there's something inherently unnatural about the chicken here, that when you visit back home, the chicken it tastes like chicken. It doesn't taste like a lab. It's so odd, and I think that's part of the reason why all the chicken here sucks.
Everything, like a lot of the food here, you have to go to the right place. So yeah, but I guess we're going too much into nostalgia right now.
Yeah.
When our topic was about piracy,
We'll leave chicken for another day.
we'll leave chicken and
We will
piracy.
definitely have an episode dedicated just to chicken.
Yeah. And yeah, so I guess
Thank you for tuning in
yeah.
again.
Thank you for tuning in.
We hope you enjoyed this one more.
And we are looking for any feedback, positive, negative. Just
Yeah.
at the end of the day, this is just us being bored and having fun.
Yeah.
This isn't like a career change, so
And leave comments,
subscribe,
subscribe,
follow our Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
and our handles on everything, Unoriginal Pod. If you're Ahmed, leave a comment. If you're one of my friends who knows Ahmed, spam Ahmed so he leaves a comment.
If you're just
Ahmed
an
the friend,
Ahmed,
not Ahmed the up. If you're just an Ahmed
if
that
you're just an
exists in the
Ahmed,
world.
leave a comment, follow, subscribe.
Yeah. If you went to Global, leave a comment. If you went to, what was your school's name?
Rick Hansen, Westminster, Western Fanshawe.
Fan
I've been all around. Leave drop a comment. Yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next week.
And please subscribe. 60% of you guys are not subscribed.
Yeah, again, subscribe. We'll see you guys next week. Take it easy.
Yeah. Bye.
See you.
Thank you again for tuning in this week. And if you missed our first episode, you can check it out using the link on screen. Bye.